Hello everyone, I'm here today to do a tag. It has been a while since the last time I did a tag, but I actually talked to Sarah when from Hardcover Hearts when she did this tag, and yeah, we were exchanging ideas, and she was like, you should try this tag. I think it would be a nice way to think about things in a different way. So I decided to follow her advice. So I'm doing the behind the booktube tag. So yeah, let's just get into the questions. The first question is, what has surprised you the most about booktube, both in a good way and in a bad way? Um, and in a good way, I think it's how much my reading has changed. Of course, there is this lovely community, but kind of like I was part of that community before I started doing videos. So I was commenting a lot of videos and watching a lot of videos, so I felt part of the community already. But the way in which conversations happen when you post a video about the things that you're reading kind of changes the way you think, and these weird books that you never heard about before and these ideas. They start popping up in the mind, and I really enjoyed that one. In a bad way, I think, when I started booktube, I had a lot of ideas, and that's sometimes still the case, but also I go through these creative plateaus where I just make the same things over and over again, and there is no creativity in it. And I think that surprised me in a bad way, like the lack of ideas and the lack of creativity at some points. The second question is, how do you balance reading and booktube with the rest of your life? So for those of you that don't know, I have an almost 2-year-old daughter. And it's crazy that she's already 2 almost, but that has changed my life in a lot of ways. And often people comment like, oh, it's so impressive that you are still doing all of this with your daughter, but actually I think that that is because the rest of my hobbies have shrink significantly. So I used to play football with some friends, I used to go swimming, I used to meet friends in the evening and have dinner kind of parties or dinner get-togethers. I used to participate in several activist groups and stuff like that. And I have realized that most of that happens in the evening, and she goes to bed around 7:30, 7:38, and I cannot leave the house after that because she's asleep. And so my hobbies have been reduced to what I can do in the house when she sleeps. And reading and doing booktube is actually one of the few things that I have left. So I haven't found it particularly hard to integrate this in my life, just because I have had to give up many other things for other reasons. So this is the main hobby that I have at the moment. With that said, she's getting older, she's sleeping less, and the time is reducing compared to last year. Last year it was a lot easier because she slept a lot more, but now it's a lot less, and yeah, it's getting a little bit harder to fit within my day. But yeah, I'm still managing, I think. The third question is, have you ever thought about starting a Patreon? And honestly, I haven't. I think I don't have enough ideas or enough following for a Patreon, or enough time for it. So no, I don't think I will do that in any time soon. The fourth question is, have you made any mistakes on BookTube? It's so painful to edit videos sometimes because I can hear all the mistakes, and it's very it's very cringe. And as a non-native speaker of English, it's even more cringe because I see my mistakes, my grammar mistakes, all of that, and I cannot fix them already because I don't want to sit down and film everything, so I have to roll with it, but it's kind of frustrating. The other thing I have made endless mistakes with is author names and how to pronounce them. I try to research how to say them beforehand, but sometimes I forget, and sometimes I forget to write the name of the author down or the name of the translator down. So when I'm talking about a book and I forget the author or the translator and I don't have it written down, I can just not say it, and I've made those mistakes a million times. The fifth question is, do you have any advice for new booktubers? And I think an important thing that I will say is know why you're doing this. Obviously, it's very easy to see all these booktubers and YouTubers in general that after a year they have a million subscribers, and well, not a million, but like thousands and thousands of subscribers, and think, oh, I can do that as well, and then be disappointed if that doesn't happen. Or like if you see all these YouTubers making deals with companies and getting proofs of books and all of that. Yeah, that might happen for you, but also might not. And a big element of that is luck. It's not only luck, of course, but it is an element of that. And I think that if you don't do it because you like it, it's hard to keep going when those things don't happen. So just think about why you want to enter the space. The sixth question is, what are your thoughts on the YouTube algorithm? And honestly, I have none. I don't have the time to look into the YouTube algorithm. And coming back to the previous question, I do this because I want to talk about books and talk with people that are like-minded and make friends. And I have made some friends in the comments that are always, I can recognize the same names coming up over and over again, and we have lovely conversations about books, and that's what's important. Of course, I would like to reach more people that are like-minded, because I know there are more like-minded people out there, and maybe if I play the algorithm that will happen more often, but I just don't have the time or the drive to do that. It's just I do this because I want to connect with people, and that's what I am doing. I'm not caring about, I don't know, the algorithm. 7A is, how do you decide what videos to make? A lot of my videos are planned around projects that I'm doing at the moment. For example, this year a big thing that I was doing was the Read Around the World project, so I posted at least one video a month about my reading for the Read Around the World project. I often also do videos around certain prizes. I do wrap-ups at the end of the month, and that's kind of like the end of things. But most important, I kind of try to see if I have anything interesting to say. Something that I have been trying to do more this year is to do single book reviews of at least once a month, but sometimes more. But sometimes I plan to do a review of a certain book that I think might be interesting, but after I read the book, it's not that interesting after all, so I end up not doing that review. So yeah, I'm basically just looking for things that can be interesting enough. And 7B is, are you ever overwhelmed with video ideas? I guess I was at one point when I started, and I was so excited about everything. But I also have times when I am lacking ideas. And that's because maybe other parts of my life take a lot of brain space, and then it's very difficult for me to, to reach any kind of creative space where I can have lots of video ideas. And I guess that has been the case for a while now, that I don't have so many ideas. That's maybe also why I stick so much in projects and things, because yeah, my life is quite busy at the moment, so even though I have the time, I don't have the headspace to create something super new and super original. Number 8 is, have you regretted posting a video? I don't think so. I cannot think of any that I will say I regret posting. I think not. I'm not equally proud of all the videos I've made, but I don't think any of them are offensive or like blatantly incorrect, so I guess not. Then 9A is, are the number of views and subscribers meaningful to you? And I would say to a certain extent. It's kind of difficult to do all this if no one is listening on the other side. And I think for me it is meaningful to have people watching and people commenting and engaging in the conversations that I try to start. So in that sense, yeah, they have some meaning to me. Number 9B says, are the number of views and subscribers a measurement of success? And that I will say probably not. I guess it depends on how you define success. And if success is to create a community around the things that you love, then no. I think views and subscribers are nice, and it's nice to have a community that like listens to you, but at the same time, if it's 400 or 500 or 600, does it really make that big of a difference? I don't know. I think it's also, I mean, YouTube is designed to make you think that that's a good thing and like celebrate these little moments. But yeah, I mean, they hold some meaning, but it's not like the ultimate success, I would say. Question number 10 is, are you disappointed by the growth of your channel? And coming back to that question, maybe a little bit. I mean, there were people that started similar time to me and have double the amount of subscribers. And sometimes you look at that and it's like, why, right? Why is that happening? Am I doing something wrong? But then you think about, like, we have different audiences, we have different personalities. I know I'm not the most cheery, outgoing, funny personality in the internet. I am aware that I'm not the most charismatic person in the internet, and that's okay. And that doesn't mean that there is no a certain space for me to be in this community. And I think that's important to realize, that even though we are often pushed to be compared to other people around us, maybe we don't need to. Question 11 is, have you ever thought about quitting Booktube? And yes, I have thought about quitting Booktube, not because the numbers, but because, as I said before, sometimes I don't have enough ideas. Sometimes I don't have enough brain space to create ideas and do the things that I want to do with this channel. And that's frustrating. So in those moments, sometimes I think, yeah, maybe it's time. I also, honestly, I have been thinking a lot lately about, as my daughter grows up, she will realize that I put these videos in the internet and I do these things on the internet, and sometimes, I mean, there are a couple of videos where she shows up, because it's kind of difficult to always have to film when she's not here, when she's sleeping. So sometimes she randomly appears in videos. And as she grows older, I do think about what impact that will have on her. And I'm not sure how I feel about it. So I do sometimes think about it. But I'm not there yet. Question 12A is, what are the most touching comments? And I actually love when people actually listen what my videos are saying and like have a whole conversation in the comments, like these very big posts about something I said, or giving me recommendations of other books that might fit with my reading, and like they are really thoughtful and like they actually listen to what I said and look at what other things I kind of like reading and base the recommendations on that. I think that's super touching. Like it really feels like we are friends, even if we haven't met in real life like ever. I really love those kind of comments. On the flip side, 12B, what are the most negative comments that I have received? I mean, I remember once someone kind of mad that I didn't know how to pronounce a name, an Indian name, and I mean, kind of fair, but also I'm not a native speaker, so I'm sorry. I don't pronounce most names correctly. Probably the only names that I pronounce correctly are Spanish names because I am from Spain. But I also remember that in my video review for A Paragon by Colin McCann, I did have a lot of negative discussions because I didn't like the book, and the people that liked the book kind of got offended by the things I said. So yeah, I don't know. It's a tricky topic because the book is about the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, and I do have thoughts about the conflict, and it's difficult to make a review of a book like that without those thoughts coming out. And I think that people that have different political thoughts to me took it to heart and didn't appreciate what I thought about the book. But I mean, I stand by what I said, so it happens. Different people have different opinions. And then the last question is, in regards to BookTube, where do you see yourself in 5 years? I have no idea. I don't think that far. I either will still be here doing the same things probably, or I won't. And either way, it will be okay because it will probably be a decision that fits with my life at that moment. But yeah, those are all the questions. I'm not going to tag anybody because I don't know. If you want to do it, the questions are down below. But yeah, that was interesting to think about. Let me know if what you think about my answers, or if you have any comments, any ideas. And until next video, bye!